Hello students, in a previous lecture we have studied the geological work by the wind. Now we are going to study the geological work by the river. Okay. As we know that the 71% of the surface of the earth is covered with the water. Okay, and this water is in the form of the streams, rivers, lakes, oceans, seas. Okay, then this water possesses some motion. Okay, then what happens? It becomes an important geological agent which modifies the surface of the earth. That means the river. Okay, when water is in motion, that means the water in the river is flowing with some motion. Okay, and this river becomes an most important geological agent which modifies the surface of the earth. That means it modifies the surface morphology of the planet. Okay, so it is very much important to study the geological work by the river. Okay, so we are studying the geological work by the water performed by its bodies of the running water. Running water means streams and the rivers. Also the stagnant water. Stagnant means seas and oceans and the subsurface water. Okay, so first is the streams. Okay, the streams means what? A small surface bodies of water flowing in the channels of their own are called as a stream. Okay, so water which are flowing into the channels, so they are called as a stream. Okay, so the small surface bodies of water which are flowing through their channels are called as a stream, and then the many streams which are flowing combinedly and they are flowing through a big area, ultimately joining the to form a single major channel of the flow. Okay, then these are called as a river. Okay, so many streams which are flowing combinedly and which are meet each other and flowing through a one big channel, then they are called as a river. Okay, so firstly, what are the source of this stream water, or what are the source of the river? Okay, so first is the runoff, second is the subsurface water, and third is the glaciers melt water. Okay, so runoff means what? The greater part of the precipitation continues its river journey superficially. Okay, that means the precipitation, after the precipitation, okay, the water is flowing towards the sea. Okay, it is starting its journey from the towards the sea. Okay, then it is flowing over and above the surface of the earth. Okay, and then it is flowing through the channels available. So this is termed as an rainwater. So what is meant by the runoff? Runoff means the water which are flowing over the surface of the earth or over or above the surface of the earth through the channels. Okay, they are called as a runoff. As we know that the some streams are the intermittent and some are the perennial. That means the streams are often of two types. First is the intermittent, second is the perennial. So perennial means what? The rivers or the streams which are flowing throughout the years. Okay, they are called as a perennial rivers. But some rivers are flowing seasonally, means they are flowing only the rainy season or the winter season, not in the summer season. Okay, so the rivers which are flowing seasonally in some during seasons only, they are called as intermittent rivers, and those which are flowing throughout the year in all the seasons, they are called as perennial streams or the perennial river. Okay, so this is the hope you understand what is meant by stream, river, and our first source of the stream water, that means the runoff. So second point is, the second source of the stream water is the subsurface water. Subsurface water is also a mm, it is a good part of the precipitation which is absorbed by the soil and the rocks on the surface of the earth. Okay, and then again it starts its journey towards the sea. Okay, but this amount subsurface water means what? It is a good part of the precipitation which is absorbed by the soil and rocks, and then it starts its journey towards the sea. Okay, so this water that has infiltrated into the earth. Okay, so the water which is absorbed by the rocks and the soils, they are infiltrated into the earth. So these are called as subsurface water. Okay, so subsurface water is the sources of the stream water. Okay, then the upper part of this groundwater is called as a water table. Okay, and then the water table maybe at some places intersect the ground surface, and this is the point where the springs are born. When the upper surface of the groundwater meets, that upper surface of the groundwater is nothing but the water table. When this water table meets the surface of the ground, that means the that is the point where the springs are born. Okay, so this is the second point source of the stream water, that is the subsurface water, and third source is the glaciers melt water. Okay, third source of the water for the streams and the rivers is the frozen water, which is in the form of the glaciers. Okay, so glaciers covers more than 10% of the surface of the earth. Okay, the glaciers which are covering the about 10% of the surface of the earth. Okay, and the water which is in the frozen state, that means in the glacier state, are called as a which is comes from the glaciers, are called as glaciers melt water. Okay, so these glaciers undergoes melting as a regular process from along their bases during the slope movement. Okay, and due to the melting at the top during the summers, the glaciers melt water contribute a lot of total volume of the many mountainous streams. Okay, during the summer season, the glaciers are melt. Okay, and this melted water is contributing a lot contributing a lot to the total volume of the waters volume of many mountainous streams. That means um, the mountainous the streams which are originates on the mountains, so these the glaciers melt waters contribute a lot to this. Okay, so next is so these are the three sources of the stream water. So next point is the river profile. In the figure you can see the river profile, the figure of the river profile. Okay, so head means what? The highland or the mountainous regions where from the river actually originates. Okay, that means head is the point where river originates. Okay, this is called as a head region. So from the head region, the rivers flow gradually. Okay, and decreasing the slopes, and then through nearly flat lands. Okay, so in the figure you can see the rivers are flowing gradually because the slope is high over there. The slope is very steep. Okay, so in the first part, that is at point 1, you can see the slope is very steep, so here the water is flowing with the high velocity, and then it is in the point 2 you can see nearly a flat land. In point 3 you can see the flat land is there. So what that means, the from the head region the rivers flow gradually and then decreasing slopes, and then through the nearly flat lands before it actually empties into the sea. Before meeting the sea, they are flowing through a flat area. Okay, The place where the rivers enters into the sea is called as a mouth. So in the figure you can see this is an head portion where the rivers actually originates. Okay, and there here is the mouth portion where the river is enters into the sea. Okay, and from head to the mouth the rivers is flowing here in first here, and the slope is steep. So where the slope is steep, the the river water is flowing gradually. Okay, and then before enters into the sea they are coming into the flatlands, and then it is enters into the sea. Okay, this is the river profile. Now the geological work by the river. What is this? During the life while flowing from the head to the mouth, these rivers are capable of exerting the greatly modifying influence over the topography of the region that through which they flow. Okay, and the geological work by the river may be broadly divided into three phases. First is the erosion, transportation, and the deposition. Okay, all these changes, that means the changes which are occurring due to the river, that is the geological work of the river, is broadly divided into three well defined phases. The first is the erosion, second is the transportation, and third is the deposition. So we will see one by one. First is the erosion. The first is the method of the river erosion. By erosion is meant, erosion is what? It is nothing but the disintegration and decomposition of the rocks and soil material, okay, by a natural agent through mechanical, chemical, and other physiochemical processes, accompanied by removal of the disintegrated and decomposed product to far off places by some agents. Okay. So erosion is nothing but the disintegration or the decomposition of the rocks and the soil. Okay. And then the rivers and streams are most powerful subaerial agents of this erosion. Okay, and others too are the wind and the ice. Okay. So erosion is mainly occurs due to the streams, rivers, ice, and wind. So the streams and rivers are the most powerful subaerial agents of erosion. Okay. So here the different uh, the running water performs its erosive work in the five ways. Okay, so these are the five ways. First is the hydraulic action, second is the cavitation, third is the abrasion, next attrition, and the corrosion. So these are the five ways through which the running water performs its erosive action. So what is meant by the hydraulic action? Hydraulic action means the mechanical losing and the removal of the material from the rocks due to the pressure exerted by the running water. So hydraulic action means the disintegration or the decomposition, that means the losing or the removal of the materials from the rocks due to the pressure exerted by the running water. Okay, so higher the velocity, greater is the pressure of the running water, and hence the capacity of the body move out parts of the rocks again of the soil from the parent body occurring along the base or the soils. Yeah. The hydraulic action means the mechanical losing of the or the removal of the material from the rocks due to the pressure of the due to the pressure exerted by the running water, and higher the velocity, higher will be the pressure of the running water. Okay, and higher will be the erosion occurs due to the hydraulic action. So second point is, second method or second way of the corrosive work by the river is the cavitation. So it is also a rare type of an hydraulic action. Cavitation is also a type of the hydraulic action, that means which is performed by the running water pressure exerted by the running water. So cavitation is also a part of the hydraulic action. Okay, but this cavitation is mainly observed where the river water suddenly acquires a high velocity. That means in the case of the waterfalls, you can see the cavitations are present into the waterfalls. So where it is known that where the stream water exceeds 12 meter per second, the water pressure develops at the impinging points equal to the vapor pressure. Cavitations forms into the waterfalls. Okay, where the velocity exceeds than 12 meter per second, that time the water pressure is equal to the vapor pressure. Okay, and that means the spontaneous change from the liquid to the vapor state and also back to the liquid state at that point. Okay, when the water is flowing over some rock, that time in the case of the waterfall, when the water is flowing from the high mountains, that time the water pressure, the velocity of the water is greater than 12 meter per second. Due to this, that the water pressure is equals to the vapor pressure. So in other words, the spontaneous change from the liquid to the vapor pressure, a vapor state, and back to the liquid state at that point, impinging point. Okay, so this is as a result of this changing, that is virtual stuffing of the material at that impinging point. Okay, and thereby creating holes and the depressions or continue dipping with the passage of the time. This phenomenon is called as an cavitation. Okay, so due to these changes occurs in the impinging point of the water flow, the holes and the depressions are created on the rocks. Okay, so this phenomenon is called as an cavitation. Okay, so the cavitation is mainly observed into the hydropower generation project. Okay, cavitation we will see into the waterfalls also, and also in the hydropower generation projects. Okay, the next way is the abrasion. Abrasion means the stream erosion involves the wearing away of the bedrock and the rocks along the banks of the stream. Okay, so wearing abrasion is the sort of the impact or the score method involving losing, disintegrating, rubbing, grinding, polishing action of the tools on the rocks of the channel. Okay, abrasion is nothing but the losing, disintegrating, rubbing, grinding, polishing action of the tools on the rocks of the channel. This is nothing but the abrasion. Next is the attrition. So what is meant by the attrition? Wear and tear of the load segments being transported by the moving natural agency through the process of mutual impacts and the collisions which they suffer during their transport. So wear and tear of the load sediments is nothing but the attrition. Okay, then then next is the corrosion. So here corrosion means what? The slow but steady chemical action of the stream water on the rocks. Okay, the chemical action of the stream water on the rocks is nothing but the corrosion. Okay, these are the five ways through which the running water performs its erosive work. Okay, so next our point is the rate of the river erosion. The capacity of the stream to perform the erosive work depends upon the different factors. So the rate of the river erosion depends upon three main factors. First is the velocity of the stream, second is the nature of the rock, and next is the load. So first is the velocity of the stream. As greater the velocity of the stream, higher will be its erosive power. If the stream is flowing or the river is flowing with the high velocity, then its erosive power is also high. This velocity of the stream, it also depends upon the gradient, then the volume of the water in the stream, roughness of the channel, volume of the load in the stream. Okay, so velocity also depends upon the different factors like gradient, volume of the water, roughness of the channel, volume of the load. Okay, so this is the first factor on which the rate of the river corrosion depends. The second is the lithology. Lithology means what? The nature of the rock. Okay, it means the composition, type, texture, structure of the rocks. Okay, the rate of the river erosion depends upon the nature of the rock. That means the composition, type, texture, structure. Okay, that means the making the river bed and the sides of the river channel. Some types of the rocks are more easily eroded by the stream water than the other, exactly same velocity and the other conditions. So lithology, that means the nature of the rocks, is the second point on which the rate of the erosion depends. And next is the load. Load means what? The volume of the sediments. If the stream is fully loaded, that means it carries in the sediments according to its maximum carrying capacity. Okay, and it becomes unstable to carry out the further load. Okay, fully loaded, कोई भी stream fully loaded है, that means what? It carries a sediments according to their maximum carrying capacity. Okay, and then after this they are not able to carry out the further load. Okay, so this condition, its erosive power becomes checked and it is left with not much energy to erode, okay, and acquire any further load. So this the load is also an important factor on which the rate of the river erosion depends. Okay, next, now we will see the different features of the stream erosion. But next point is the features of the stream erosion. The prolonged erosion by the river and the associated stream produces many interesting and important surface features along their channels, directly or in drainage basin in an indirect manner. Some of these features develop with the passage of the time to major geomorphological landforms. Okay, so that means the continuous erosion by the river and the streams produces the many changes, produces many intersecting or the important surface features along their channels. Some are directly or some are indirectly. Okay, so and it with the passage of the time to the major morphological landforms, means prolonged erosion by the river causes is responsible for the major geomorphological landforms. So now we will see the different features of this stream water. So first is the portholes. Okay, so portholes means what? In the figure you can see the portholes are there. The portholes are nothing but the depressions. Okay, the various shaped depressions of different dimensions are developed into the river bed. Okay, they are due to the localized erosion by the stream. Okay, so portholes are nothing but the small depressions which are created into the river bed, and they are due to the excessive localized erosion. Okay, so here the portholes are generally cylindrical in shape or ball shape. Okay, and they are formed mainly in the softer rocks. Okay, the formation process of this footfall may be initiated by the simple plucking out of the producing or outstanding rock projection at the river bed by the hydraulic action. Means the potholes are mainly forms due to the localized erosion. That means sometimes it is due to the hydraulic action, means due to the excessive water pressure. Okay, so these potholes are of shapes of the bowl shapes or the cylindrical in shapes. Okay, their diameter is vary from few meters to the through centimeters to the many meters. Uh, so next, this is our the first features the stream erosion. The second one is the river valley. In the figure you can see the river valley. So river valley is nothing but the lowland which is surrounded by the sides by the inclined hill slope and the mountain. Okay, in the figure you can see the valley is there. So valley is nothing but the inclined slope. Okay, in the figure you can see the V-shaped slope is there. Okay, and in between these two mountains the river is the river is flowing over there. The valley which are created uh, so valley is nothing but the lowland surrounded by the sides of inclined hill slopes and the mountains. Every major river is associated with the valley of its own. In fact, the rivers are responsible for the origin and development and also the modification of their valley through the well understood process of the river erosion. Mainly, these valleys are created due to this river. Okay, that means the origin, development, and the modification occurs into the valley is mainly due to the river. Valley is created due to the river. Okay, next. First of we will see the origin, valley deepening, lengthening, capture, and the stream achieved valley widening. Okay, so first our point is the origin. The origin of the river. A river valley may have the modest origin, then trace backward in the geological history of the area. On the gentle sloping surface, river water gets collected along the lower layer and flows as a small streamlet. Okay, in a short time, small gullies are produced where rainwater gets naturally collected and adjoining slope further erosion deepens and widens an originally gully and that can accommodate biggest volume of the water. Okay, this is how the valleys are created. Okay, next is the valley deepening. In the figure you can see the valley deepening. It is achieved by the cooperative deep valleys are there. Okay, so it is achieved by the cooperative action of all the processes involved in the erosion. So which are the different processes which are involving in the erosion, like the hydraulic action, abrasion, chemical action, and the corrosion. Okay, all this due to all these different processes, um, the valley is going to deep inside. Okay, next is the next point is the in the figure you can see valley deepening. In the initial stage, um, uh, the the edges of this valley is in the V shape. In the figure you can see the initially they are in the V shape, but due to the continuous erosion into this valley, the valley becomes widened. Okay, and then it becomes a U shape. So V shape, originally it is in the V shape, and due to the erosion, continuous erosion, they are they becomes into the U shape. Okay. Next is the river capture. A river capture means what? In the figure you can see A to B one river is there. Okay, here A to B one river is here, and nearby this the second river is originates over here. Okay, so uh, then after some time this three in the second figure you can see after some long years, there this three this small river or the small stream is meeting the main river. Okay, then it is flowing now, it is flowing in the large volume of the water is flowing in this direction. Okay, and this side is big, the volume of the water in this side is very less. Okay, then after some times uh, the volume of the water in this side is very large, and the small stream and this side becomes a is now separated. Okay, and in the last figure you can see the main river which is flowing from A to B. Now it is flowing towards the A to here we can say C. Okay, so the flow of the river is completely changes. Okay, after the year. So this is nothing but the river capture. Okay, so next is the gorges and the canyons. What is meant by the gorges and the canyons? The process of valley dipping often gives rise to the magnificent surface features which is known as gorges and the canyons. Okay, so the canyons means the gorges means what? A deep gorges are very deep and narrow valley. Okay, and it is with a steep and very high walls on the either side. In the figure you can see gorges is there. Okay, so gorges nothing but the a deep or narrow valley with the steep walls or the high walls on the either side. Okay, here is the gorges. Okay, uh, and the second one, that is canyon, is a specific type of the gorges where the layers cut down by the river are essentially stratified and horizontal in altitude. So in the figure here you can see the pictures of the canyons. Okay, so these are also a deep valley. Okay, where the where on both sides the very steep and the high walls on their either side. But here the canyons means what? Here the valley is cut by the is cut into the layers, and these layers uh, are stratified and the horizontal. Okay, in the figure you can see the layers are um, stratified and also horizontal. Okay, so these are called as a canyons. So canyons is also a specific type of the gorges where the layers are cut down by the river are essentially stratified and the horizontal. Okay, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज दी वाटरफॉल. आपने तो देखा ही होगा वाटरफॉल के वाटरफॉल के ये वाटरफॉल स्ट्रीम इरोजन के लिए कैसे रिस्पॉन्सिबल है ये हम अभी देखेंगे. सो वाटरफॉल, फर्स्टली व्हाट इज मीन बाय द वाटरफॉल. सो वाटरफॉल इज डिफाइंड एज द मैग्निफिसेंट jump made by the stream or the water at certain specific parts of their course where there is a sudden or the considerable drop in the gradient of the channel. Okay, so waterfall is nothing but the jump made by the stream or the water. Okay, when there is a considerable deep gradient, the changes in the gradient of the channel. Okay. Then in the figure also you can see the waterfall. Okay. How the water forms, sorry, ये वाटरफॉल्स की वजह से इरोजन कैसे होता है, ये अब हम देखेंगे। यहाँ पे देखो ये फिगर में, सो इन द फिगर ए, okay, the river is flowing over this bedrock. Okay, then here L means was the limestone, S means shell, and F then present in the future location of the waterfall. Okay, so in the figure A, the water is flowing over these beds of rock. Okay, then where these rocks are very soft, then uh, its erosive power is very less. Okay, because of the softness. So here it's starting erosion over here. The erosion is starting. Okay, and after a long time, the shape of the river becomes like this. That means here the waterfall is created over here. Okay, the soft rocks becomes completely eroded, and then the waterfalls are created over here. Okay. uh, Next is the stream terraces. Stream terraces means what? These are the benches like ledge or flat surfaces that occurs on the sides of many river valley. River valley के side पे benches like फ्लैट सरफेसेस क्रिएट हो जाते हैं, उसे हम क्या कहते हैं कि स्ट्रीम टेरेसेस. ओके. Next, our next point is the sediment transport by the river. Every year receives enormous amount of material during its flow from head to the mouth. Okay. Every river means हर एक रिवर जब हेड मतलब जहाँ पे वो ओरिजिनल होती है वहाँ से सीवर जर्नी स्टार्ट करती है, तब तक मतलब जब वो रिवर जब भी सी में इंटर्स हो जाती है तब तक का फ्लो जो है ड्यूरिंग इट्स फ्लो they are receiving the different types of the material. Okay, and these materials include rocks, soil particles. Okay, and this heterogeneous type of the material comprises branches and trunks of the trees washed down by the rails and the materials contributed from the process of mass wasting, such as rock falls, soil, tree brain wash, landslide, and from another distinct category of the material that are transported by the rivers. Okay, so originate from the head to the mouth, and the rivers receives a lot different types of the material. It may be a rock, soil. Also, it contains a heterogeneous material like branches and trunks of the trees also. Okay. Uh, so such a type of the materials the rivers are transporting from the head to the mouth. In the figure you can see the water is flowing. Okay, and here you can see the this river contains some mass of the surface of the surface. That means it contains pebbles, sands. Okay, so these are the sediments which are transported along with this river water of the water of that river. Okay, some trenches and the branches of the trees are also are flowing with this river water. Next is the deposition by the river. the entire load of the stream or a river will normally remain in transport unless there is a change in one or other factor responsible for its transport. The process of dropping down of its load by the by any moving natural agents is technically called as an deposition. Okay. Wind, rivers, glaciers, and marine water are the important natural agents make the typical deposit. Okay. जो रिवर डिफरेंट मटेरियल्स अपने साथ कैरी करती है, ओके, लेकिन कैरी करने के बाद वो कहीं पे तो वो डिपॉजिट हो जाती है, ओके. तो डिपोजिशंस बाय द रिवर्स, दिस डिपॉजिट्स आर ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑल्सो. So first type is so our next point is the types of the deposits. The first is the alluvial fans and the cones. Means what? These are the cone shaped accumulation of the stream deposits that are commonly found at the places where the small intermittent streamlet coming down from the hill slope enter the lowlands. In the figure you can see the alluvial deposits. Okay, so here in the figure you can see the river is flowing over here and it carries a material with it, and due to this material um, contains a different types of this flow of the water contains a different types of the material, okay, and they are deposited at the where the river is meeting the sea, okay, they are deposited over here and they are making a cone like shape, okay. Some this cone is they are making a cone at that where they are meeting the when the river is meeting the sea, okay. This is the alluvial deposits and the cones, okay. So next is the natural levees. These are especially river bank deposits made by a river along its bank during the floods, okay. तो यहाँ पे देखो ये बिफोर फ्लड, then during flood and after floods. What is the difference between these three figures? यहाँ पे देखो ये यहाँ पे हिल के बीच में वाटर फ्लो हो रहा है, ओके. सो एट द टाइम ऑफ द फ्लोइंग वाटर after the flood the thickened and the coarser sediment deposited at the channel's edges, okay. So after the floods the sediments are carrying with the river water, okay, and that sediments are deposited at the edges of the channel, okay. चैनल एजेस के इधर वो डिपॉजिट हो जाते हैं, ओके. एंड आफ्टर मेनी फ्लड्स and it becomes such like of the structure, and these structures are called as a natural levee, okay. Natural levees built by the many floods, okay. So here before flood, the figure is here, okay. After the floods some sediments are deposited at the channel edges, and then after the many years the natural levees are built at the edges of these channels, okay. Hope you understand this concept. So next point is the delta. What is meant by the delta? Delta is nothing but the deltas are the alluvial deposits, okay. It is of roughly triangular shape that is deposited by the major rivers at their mouths, okay. The triangular shape of the alluvial deposits is nothing but the delta. In the figure you can see The triangular shape of the alluvial deposits um, at the mouth of the river uh, is there. Okay, so this triangular shape of the alluvial deposits is called as a deltas. Okay, and next type of the deposit is the channel deposits. The channel deposit means what? The many streams are forced by some natural causes to deposit some of their load there along with their river bed. These are the called as channel deposits. So the channel deposits contains sand, gravel. Okay, sometimes it contains uh, large pebbles or the gravels. Okay, so these are the channel deposits. Next, our point is the river meandering. What does it mean? When a stream flows along a curved or a zigzag path occurring a loop-shaped course, it is said to be a meander. Okay, meanders are developed mostly in the middle or the lower reaches of the major stream, where lateral erosion or the depositions along the opposite banks becomes almost concurrent geological activities of the stream. When a stream is flowing through such a channel, it cannot be assumed to have an absolutely uniform velocities all across its width. Okay, in the figure you can see the rivers meandering. It means when the streams are flowing in the zigzag manner, that means it meandering. Okay, the process of development of this zigzag type of the channel for itself is called as a river meandering. When meanders are developed mostly at the middle and the lower reaches of the stream. Okay, so meanders here you can see these meanders are developed at the middle and also the lower reaches of the major stream, where the lateral erosion and the deposition along the opposite banks become almost concurrent. Okay, geological activities of the stream. Then, where the stream is flowing such a channel, it cannot be assumed to have absolutely uniform velocities all across the width. Okay, just the same river is eroded its channels on the concave side. Okay, and then it making the progress further inland, whereas the convex side of the depositing. Okay, the zigzag pattern of the river is nothing but the river meandering, and this meandering is occurs into the middle and the lower reaches of the major rivers. So our next point is the Oxbow Lakes. Oxbow Lakes is the advanced stage of the meandering. Okay, uh, it is relatively narrow strip of the land separate uh, the individual loops from each other. Okay, in the figure you can see the Oxbow Lake is there. Most of the time the river has a tendency to flow in a straight line. When it possesses a when it becomes a floody. Okay, the floody waters that means when the water is flowing with the high velocity, that times the tendency of the water is flow with the in a straight line, and that time the meandering becomes a relatively narrow. Okay, and the high water times during then it forms a lakes, and these are called as oxbow lakes. Okay, in the figure you can see the oxbow lakes. Okay, due to this tendency of the water to flow in a straight line, the lakes are formed and these are called as oxbow lakes. Thank you.